Yep, here we go again. Hey everyone, welcome to the top 10 list. Welcome to my top 10 most underrated Disney movies. Yes, once again, here's another Disney top 10 list. Yeah, get over it. This may be the last one. I've said that a bajillion times, but I really think it this time. But yeah, a lot of people were curious to see what I found, what Disney movies were underrated. Like, what Disney movies do I think more people should be watching, and what movies were kind of critically panned and they shouldn't have been. Well, this list is for, it's to answer those questions. What Disney movies do I think are very underrated? Alright, let's get to it. Here's my top 10 most underrated Disney movies. And for a top 10 list, you gotta have your honorable mentions. My honorable mentions are Cool Runnings, The Fox and the Hound, The Great Mouse Detective, Bedknobs and Broomsticks, The Watcher in the Woods, Tron Legacy, and The Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian. All pretty underrated movies. Just gonna make the top 10 list, but what didn't make my top 10 was my number 10. And my number 10 is Tron. Yes, Tron, 1982. One of the greatest years of all of cinema. I love this movie. I think Tron is a great film. Not enough people watched it in 1982, and even out in 2017, still a lot of people haven't even watched it. Even Tron Legacy, which wasn't even that bad of a film, no one saw it and no one cared about it. This one, again, wasn't critically panned like Tron Legacy, but it wasn't really a critical success, and it didn't do amazing in the box office either. It did fine. Again, people don't talk about this movie, and not a lot of people really give a shit about this movie, which is wrong. This movie is great. It's so well directed. It's visually stunning, especially for its time. Some people might think it's very dated because the effects look kind of cheap looking, but they're not. They look fantastic. You got Jeff Bridges in this movie. He's amazing as the character Kevin Flynn and stuff. Basically, it's about this guy that goes into this program, like a video game and stuff. He's trapped in this world, this other reality and stuff. And basically, he has to fight his way out and go back into the human world and stuff. And he has to play all the games, and then he has to team up with some of these heroes, these girls and stuff. And then you find out about the character Clue, which comes in Tron Legacy and stuff. You find out about the character Tron and all that stuff, and it's great. The visuals, the world, everything is fantastic. I love this movie. I think it's very underrated, and more people should watch it. Coming number 9 is Atlantis, The Lost Empire. I just talked about this in my post-Renaissance list, so I won't go into too much details. I think this is a pretty damn good movie. I think this was written by Joss Whedon, yes. And it was really great. I like these characters. Again, it's a bit overly exposition heavy at times, especially in the beginning. There's a few things that don't make sense about this movie, but it's still a very fun, visually creative film. It's well written, it's well directed. I love this entire crew of characters, especially Milo, who's voiced by Michael J. Fox. I don't care for the sequel all that much. It's not a bad sequel, but I don't care for it very much. But this one was a pretty critically panned movie, and I don't understand why. It's a very fun, very adventurous Disney movie, and it's very underrated. Coming number 8 is Sky High. Sky High, again, a movie no one saw and a movie no one talks about for some stupid reason. This is such a cool, very unique and original and creative idea for a film. It's just so great. It has Bruce Campbell in it. It's got Kelly Preston, Mary Elizabeth Winstone, and fucking Kurt Russell in this movie. That's awesome. Basically, it's about these people that live in this world where superheroes exist, and parents and kids of superheroes go to this high school, and basically when you go to this high school, you're basically put into two categories. You're either a hero or you're a sidekick and stuff. And basically you go into high school, go to college, and you train to be a superhero and fight the super villains and stuff. And that's what this movie's about. And it's very interesting seeing these high school kids with all these powers. It's very good, very funny, very enjoyable, very likable, and I love it. Great for kids, it's great for adults, it's great for people who just love superhero movies. It even has a pretty good twist at the end, and it actually ends up being very, very funny. The performances are great. Having Bruce Campbell as the gym teacher is just fucking genius casting. I love this movie. It's such a great film, and yeah, very underrated. Coming number 7 is Fantasia 2000. Again, I just talked about this in my Disney Renaissance, post-Renaissance, sorry. It's great. It's not as good as the 1940 Fantasia movie. That is brilliant. It's my favorite Disney movie of all time. It's great. Sorry about that. Yeah, Fantasia 2000 is great still. Again, the human characters, they almost ruin it. The Penn and Teller, Bette Midler, and Steve Martin. Fucking annoying as shit, but the animation's brilliant, and the atmosphere, the subtlety, the amazing orchestra music, especially, with the green girl and the whale and stuff. There's proper story names for those stories, but I don't know them, so bear with me. Yeah, everything about this movie is fantastic, from opening to finish. All the musical numbers, the orchestra numbers are fantastic. The human characters are ear poison, but everything else is just beautiful. And this movie, again, it didn't do well in the box office, and it should have, because we might have even had a third Fantasia movie, which would have been awesome, because I love Fantasia, and I love the simplicity of Fantasia. It's not just a story, it's just these short animated stories through orchestra music, and I love that. I love that concept, and this movie is fantastic and really underrated. Coming number 6 is Something Wicked This Way Comes. Yes, another movie a lot of people probably have never even heard of. If you didn't grow up in the 80s, you probably didn't hear about this movie. I didn't grow up in the 80s, but I grew up with a lot of Disney movies, so I heard about this one, and I finally watched it when I was like 13, 14, so I was pretty older. I really liked this movie. I thought this was a really great film, and it's a very dark and kind of twisted film, because it's about this circus that comes to this town and stuff, and it's led by this evil man played by Jonathan Pryce, and he's amazing. He just milks the evilness and the darkness of his character with this suit and his big top hat. He's so great. And it's basically about these kids trying to solve the mystery of what's happening and stuff, and why these people are disappearing. I think one of the kids is River Phoenix. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100%, but there is some weird shit in this movie, like decapitations and body parts going out and shit. There's even blood and shit. This is a very dark, very mature Disney movie, and I freaking love it. I really do. I love the performances. I love how this movie ends. It's a very good ending, and it's very edgy. It's very subtle too and atmospheric. It's very it has this really dark tone about it, and it's very calm, which makes it all the more unsettling. And yeah, I love this movie. It's a great film. Coming number 5 is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, a great classic Disney movie with Kirk Douglas. Before Pirates of the Caribbean, we had a 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, a very good, adventurous, boat story. It's fantastic. The creatures look fantastic. The practical effects are just brilliant. The performances, the character study of all these characters is really well done. Again, it's definitely not a movie for kids, because I don't think kids will be enjoying it. It's more of a classic film, and as a classic film, it's brilliant, but it's also a great Disney movie and very underrated. Coming number 4 is The Three Musketeers, a movie that's really hated. I don't understand why. I get the Paul W.S. Anderson movie. That movie blows. This is a great movie. The 90s version is such a great, cheesy, adventurous movie, and I love it. I really do. I love its swashbuckling action scenes. I love Oliver Platt, Charlie Sheen, Kiefer Sutherland, Chris O'Donnell. Tim Curry's the villain, brilliant casting again, and yeah, you got Julie Delpy also in this movie. It's just great. It's so fun and kick-ass, and again, it's not meant to be groundbreaking, it's just meant to be a fun Three Musketeers movie. It's definitely not the best Three Musketeers movie, but it's one of them. It's so good, it's so fun, and I don't understand the hate for it. I find it very underrated, and yeah, I love it. Coming number 3 is a tie between two Nicolas Cage movies, and that's National Treasure and The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Two movies, again, they're not really critically successful, but I really like both of them. National Treasure is a great movie. It is a national treasure. Well, no, I wouldn't go that far, but still. It's a good movie. The sequel was just kind of but this one was really good. It's very hokey and corny, but it works because of Nicolas Cage. He's so good. So is Justin Bartha, Sean Bean is the villain. He doesn't die in this one. Diane Kruger, Jon Voight, Harvey Keitel. Everyone's great in this movie. It's a great, treasure story about this map that was hidden under the Declaration of Independence. It's about the Freemasons and stuff and this golden treasure. It's very good and very exciting, and I really enjoy it. The Sorcerer's Apprentice is also really good. Yes, he plays Uncle Balthazar. I used to call him Bulbasaur because I like the Pokemon. Funny. This one also has Jay Baruchel, Alfred Molina. Alfred Molina's not very great in the movie, but it's a great movie about this sorcerer who's been living for so long, looking for this chosen one to defeat the evil darkness, which is Jay Baruchel, and he trains him to be this big, accomplished sorcerer and stuff, and again, very unoriginal, cheesy, hokey movie, but it works. They're both very corny films, but they work, and they're very enjoyable and very underrated. Coming number 2 is 8 Below. Yes, rest in peace, Paul Walker. Hands down the best movie he ever played in. Again, this movie was a hit when it came out, but then I guess everyone forgot about it. No one talks about this movie, and it's so good. It's one of the best dog movies out there. It's so good, it's so sad, so compelling, so powerful. The dogs probably give the best performances out of anyone in this entire film. Not to insult the acting. The acting's good. Paul Walker, Jason Biggs, Bruce Greenwood, they're all fine. But these dogs are so good. All the story with the dogs, them trying to survive for the whole year in Alaska or Antarctica, wherever they are. Them trying to survive, stuff, rip out of their leashes and try to find food and try to find shelter. It's a really captivating story. And I heard it was a true story, so that's interesting. It was a very compelling watch. You wanted to see if these dogs were going to survive in the end. And yeah, it's great. It's very uplifting, it's very sad, it's very tragic, but it's also a very engaging story, and I love it. And my number 1 most underrated Disney movie of all time is The Rescuers Down Under. Yes, everyone mostly says, what is the most underrated Disney movie? Most people say The Rescuers Down Under. I fully agree. This is fantastic. It is so good. I've talked to death about this movie because everyone knows this is one of my favorite animated Disney movies. It's amazing. It's the Indiana Jones of Disney movies. Just like DuckTales is the Indiana Jones of cartoon TV shows. This is fantastic. The sheer size and scope of the film is amazing. The first Rescuers was good. This was even better. As George C. Scott as the villain. The cast is back. Has John Candy in it. It's funnier. It's more adventurous. It's more action-packed. It's more captivating, interesting, and more beautiful to look at. I love it. I loved it as a kid. I love it now. It's hands down the most underrated Disney movie of all time. Sorry, but yeah, this movie just didn't do well in the box office, and it should have, because we might have had a third one, and we would have probably had an amazing Rescuers trilogy, but that never will happen. But still, Down Under, Rescuers Down Under, fantastic. So yeah, that was my top 10 most underrated Disney movies of all time. So in the comment section below, please tell me, what do you think are the top 10 most underrated Disney movies of all time in your opinion? Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.